Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm based in the UK, working for Leipa for a total of 11 years and a little bit of time at Smurfit Kappa in between. So I'm a packaging girl through and through. But today I just wanted to dive in a little deeper and give you an introduction of Leipa Group. Why am I doing that? Because of course you have the upcoming visit of my lovely colleagues Mike Peterson and Marcus Miller, together with Randy Banks, who are visiting you very soon in calendar week 12. And we just thought what would be really nice is just to give you a bit of an insight into Leipa Group as a whole, and maybe some projects that we're involved in and other things surrounding the group and the industry as a whole, so that you can digest it, get used to what we do, and then hopefully have lots of exciting questions for my colleagues who will be with you very soon. So a little bit about me before we start. I'm based in the UK, but I'm bilingual in German and English, so I've had a lot of experience with Leipa, the German mill, for a lot of years. I've been lucky enough to be around the mill site plenty of time and get a real understanding of how the operation works and how Leipa work as a whole. And recently I've been more involved in the environmental and sustainability and CSR areas of the Leipa Group, which I'd like to touch on today. So let's not hesitate and let's dive right in and have a look what we can show you. So diving straight into the introduction then, ahead of your upcoming Leipa visit, let's have a look at the group. So a little bit of an overview to the Leipa Group. We're an independent group of companies with professional know-how from over 170 years. Our focus really is on paper and packaging solutions based on 100% recycled fibre. We also have a flexible packaging division that does include some virgin fibre and also some accompanying services. So we focus on circular economy and closed loop, involving our logistics or our waste paper purchasing side. We've had our first paper mill since 1847, well before my birth date, and today we are a European player with a global business. We were, are, and will remain a family business. So an overview on numbers then, business volume turnover of 850 million euros, just shy of, it's a little bit more than 1700 today, but just shy of 2,000 employees, with a 1.9 million tonnes moved by Leipa Logistics. Each year we need 1.5 million tonnes of waste paper. And that goes into our production sites. On the right hand side you can see our division areas, everything from graphic paper, solid board, specialty papers and flexible packaging. And the reason of course your visit is happening is on the packaging paper area, where we produce around 700,000 tonnes of testliner each year, coated and uncoated, making us the true one-stop shop for testliner. Leipa have really established themselves in the area of sustainability. It's quite clear why we've done that. We were pioneers with recovered paper as early as back as the 70s, using recovered paper for our grey board production, and today using 100% recycled paper in both our graphic paper and packaging paper sectors. So we really do assume responsibility for not just our employees, but also the region and the environment that we find ourselves in, which fits very well to today's agenda. So why do we talk about sustainability? What's the motive behind talking about sustainability? Well, SDGs are global goals. The Sustainable Development Goals were set by the UN, and most businesses now form their sustainability strategies around those. Within Europe, we obviously have the Green Deal, with the circular economy having a priority number one. And really, we're just talking no longer about a soundbite. Sustainability it's an attitude and a solution. Our consumers expect activity. They're even changing their consumption behaviour. We see that through the movement of vegetarian and vegan, and also just the way we purchase, wanting to know where our goods come from. And that's no different for packaging. In fact, actually, packaging has been hugely under scrutiny, with the move away from plastic and things like that being broadcast in national and international news.
Legislators are setting tighter framework conditions year after year. Customers are only buying from sustainable suppliers. And actually, it's become the new basic condition for debt financing investments and participations. But without sounding too doom and gloom, there is, of course, a positive opportunity for us here. Sustainability is on a global scale a $12 trillion opportunity. We know that companies acting more sustainably are more successful, and it really helps in the fight for talents and employer branding. Maybe making this a little bit more in line with the US, you have, of course, the famous Larry Fink letter of 2020, which demands each company must address climate change as a factor in how it operates. This is what Leipa do. We are a partner in offering materials for people wanting to act more sustainably. The age-old argument of kraftliner versus testliner is, of course, that testliner is 100% waste paper made. That means it has a 0% forest footprint. The paper industry is a closed loop or a circular economy because paper is so recyclable. It's one of the highest recyclable substrates in terms of recycling rates worldwide. But without that recycling, 60 million tonnes in Europe wouldn't be a valuable resource. They would actually be a problem. So Leipa is a solution for this waste problem, using 100% post-consumer waste paper for graphic and packaging papers. We have to use the latest techniques, and we're lucky enough to have state-of-the-art processes, and we can recycle each fibre 10 times and more. There was a study just the other day actually of carton board being up to 25 times recycled over and over again. So by using waste paper, that's what really reduces this footprint, and we like to use the phrase 0% forest footprint as a communication element for not just our customers, but for our customers to give to their brand owners. Naturally, when you talk about footprint, the first thing that jumps to mind is, of course, carbon footprint or the CO2 impact. We don't talk about just the impact of production because for us that's just half the story. What we use is the SEPI 10 toes method, which includes looking at our raw materials, our supply logistics, the distribution of our products, and even the way we produce. So a large part of our energy needed is generated from thermal utilisation of foreign substances contained in the collected waste paper. That means 100% of the steam needed for our paper production is produced on site by our own power plants. We're an environmental partner of the state of Brandenburg, which is where our mill is based, and we support surrounding communities. So, you know, there's a lot of care and consideration taken for the environment that we find ourselves in. So we don't just focus about today, we look at tomorrow, and maybe I'll just take you through just a snippet of the projects we have going on that make Leipa fit for the future. We have the Rising Generation, which is a private venture capital company owned by our family owners. This really focuses on startups that offer paper-based ideas. I quite like it as an idea of supporting these creative and genius people around us who come up with fantastic ideas. And what that also gives us is a real insight and input of where the direction of market trends are going. So Schwedt is where our paper mill is based, where all our packaging grades are made by two very large machines. But Schwedt is east of Berlin, about 2 hours on the border of Poland. And we need to obviously attract talent to this area and retain talent to this area. And we do that with things like the initiative of creating an innovation campus in the town. It's a maker space. It really deepens the cooperation between science and business and increases the attractiveness of the Schwedt region. We have, of course, the conference centre on our site itself. Our conference centre is used as a meeting centre. Again, this kind of idea of bringing geniuses and businesses together, where lectures are held, where we can have sales meetings, where we can invite people to a space to be able to really sort of brainstorm those next up-and-coming ideas. We have a virtual reality lab at our mill. I haven't used it yet myself, but on my next visit I am definitely there. We are actually the first paper mill in the world to use this virtual reality as a training method. You know, paper making is not the safest environment, and therefore we support our apprenticeships, of which we have almost 100 each year, in order to train them safely with the most modern technology available. Our innovation lab at the flexible packaging division allows us to really focus on new things, new technologies, try new things, test new things. And we talked earlier about the plastic movement away from plastic, and this division is really focused on significantly reducing or on almost completely replacing with paper fibre, and uses patented barrier solutions to do so. Very exciting division. Mad Recycling, a rather unfortunate name when we're speaking in English, but Mad Recycling is actually München Aktiendatei and is part of the Leipa group. It is our way of sourcing our raw material, and the Mad Recycling group have some really innovative and exciting technologies like laser-based sorting in order to get the best out of the fibre that we're returning to the paper mill. The Residue to Fuel programme is a new research project which is under the direction of the renowned Fraunhofer Institute. It's in cooperation with a lot of exciting other companies, and the topic that they're looking at is the energy efficient recycling of residues for the production of novel renewable fuels. Way over my head, but definitely an exciting project for the future and really showcasing how Leipa considers their future path. So we've already talked a lot about research and development cooperations in certain projects, but actually Leipa have already been working successfully for decades with partners from the industry as well as universities, just always optimising the most environmentally friendly products and processes. Waste paper being our main ingredient, if you like. We also work on the recyclability factor. We do that with INGIDA, which is the International Association of De-Inking Industry. Leipa is a really active member here, naturally, because we take so much fibre in from Germany and the surrounding area. So we always look and strive to improve the circular economy. How can we get the most of that fibre out time and time again? The lovely thing about working for a family-owned business is this kind of commitment and this idea of investing into the business time and time again. So on average, each year we do about 10% of our turnover, not just into new machines, not just processes in the sustainability area, but also into our employees. And I guess that's really the key factor is, people are excited and happy to work for Leipa because of this, forward-thinking attitude. So finishing up on the slides that I want to show you today, I'm leaving you with a quote, not my quote, but from Dr. Schrödinger, who is the family member owner of Leipa today. And this is a message that's really transported throughout our business. So not just thinking about today, but also tomorrow.
So hopefully those slides have given you just a bit of insight into Leipa. Just whet that appetite a little bit on your upcoming visit from Mike and Marcus, together with Randy coming to your site shortly. Hopefully you'll have lots of questions for them, especially maybe more day to day in terms of the packaging grades and the portfolio and what Leipa has to offer in the area of packaging papers. They are the cream of the crop, the experts on the subject. So please do get involved and ask them as much as you want. And if you're not a partner of us already, then I hope you're a partner of us tomorrow. And best regards from the UK. Bye.